everyone. So glad you are taking the time to take care of yourself. Today's sequence is going to be all about the legs. These videos are my love offering to all of you. We live in a really chaotic and violent world, and I hope that you are all taking the time to find joy where you can and to take care of yourselves and rest as needed. Let's get started. So for today's class, if you would like to have a couple of blocks, they might be helpful, or if you have some books, they will also do the same thing. So let's just get started, and we are going to begin in Baddha Konasana, which means the bottoms of your feet come together and a butterfly pose. You can have your hands cup over your toes. You can even have your elbows push against your legs to open that up a bit. And we want to keep a straight back. Begin to find your breath in and out of your nose. Close your eyes. This might be the first time you are paying attention to your breath today, and that's okay. Pay attention to how your body feels. Have you been sitting a lot? Does sitting in this pose feel uncomfortable? Your inner thighs a little tight? Do you feel your groin muscles talking to you? Just pay attention to it. If it feels more comfortable to arch your back and do a bit of a forward fold in this moment, go for it. If you want to keep that straight back, that's good too. Start listening to what your body's asking of you today. In and out of your nose. It doesn't have to be exaggerated. You don't have to force anything. Just pay attention to your breath. And in this moment, you're already doing yoga. If you're being mindful of your breath, you're paying attention to it. And do 3 more breaths on your time. When you're ready, let's meet in a tabletop. Gently close your legs. We want to make sure our shoulders are stacked over our wrists, our hips over our knees. And let's do some cat-cows. Inhale. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale. exhale, catch. And do 3 more of these, following your own breath. And when you finish, or while at it, there's other organic movement that calls to you right now, go for it. Whether it's shaking out those hips, just some fluid movement, what feels good. And when you're ready, let's meet in our first downward dog. Today's class is not going to have your, actually I don't think we're going to be having any vinyasanas, but it's going to be more gentle. You're going to be holding some poses. And maybe in this first downward dog, you want to pedal out your dog. Imagine you're trying to have your chest meet your thighs. Maybe you're like me and you're bending your legs a little bit. Imagine you're trying to bring your heels to the ground, even if they're not touching. That's okay. It's just about the alignment. And look to the top of your mat. Get on your tippy toes and slowly walk all the way to the top of your mat. To forward fold. And here we can have a micro bend. Ragdoll, sway side to side. You can grab opposite elbows and just hang heavy. Let gravity do its thing. Forward folds are so good for you. They stretch out your back, your hammies. Gently release elbows and slowly rise up with your head being the last thing to come up. We're an upward salute. Shoulders back. Looking out front. Inhale, arms high to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. And bring your right leg all the way back. Right foot to the ground, to a lunge, and bring your right knee to the ground. Untuck your toes. We're in a lunge. And arms high to the sky. Now here we want to make sure we're engaged and that one leg isn't doing more work than the other. So imagine, or actually do it, your right hip, we want to square up our hips, so you want your right hip to go forward and your left hip back. Imagine you've got 2 magnets that are trying to bring both hips together. Engage your core, shoulders back. One more inhale. Exhale out. do a baby back bend. Keep engaging those hips, those legs. And inhale, come high up to the sky again. Exhale, knees to the ground. Or, I'm sorry, not knees to the ground, hands to the ground. And we're gonna move into a half split with your left leg stretched straight. Now in this half splits, we want the left foot to be flexed toward us. We're gonna be doing kind of the same engagement, so we want right hip forward, left hip socket back. And every time we inhale, we straighten our back. Exhale, forward fold. You should be really feeling this with your in your hammies. And this is a perfect time to use your blocks if you could use that. So you would use them whatever height works best for you. Because we don't want to dome up. We really want to have a straight back. So whatever helps us get there, okay? Yoga is all about variations. And now we're gonna put our right hand, our right shoulder stacked over our right wrist to our right. And we're going to lift our left arm high to the sky. And if you can, look up to your left thumb. If it's straining your neck or hurting you in any way, don't do that. You can look down. Gently release. We're gonna re-bend our left knee, left leg. Tuck our right toes back. Lift our right knee off the ground. And we're gonna go into tripod down dog with our left leg high to the sky. Let's stack those hips and go in circles. One way first. Ooh, feeling that synovial fluid. If you haven't been stretching out your hips, you might feel a little stiff. That is okay. Let's make our bodies move a little bit. When you're ready, your left foot will meet your right foot and back to your downward dog. How's your breath? Let it guide you through this practice. Your next inhale, look up to the front of your mat. Exhale, forward fold to the top of your mat. Inhale, half lift, straight back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, all the way up to the sky, arms high. Exhale, bring it all the way down. Now let's do the other side. Inhale, left leg all the way to the back of your mat. Left knee goes to the ground. Untuck your left toes. And inhale, whoop, I'm sorry. Inhale brings you high, arms high to the sky. And we want to focus on alignment again. Imagine your left hip is drawing forward, right hip back. They're trying to magnetize to one another. Baby back bend. And brings you high to the sky again, arms high. Exhale, palms back to the ground. Gonna extend our right foot forward, straight leg, with our right toes flexing toward us for half splits. And again, use your blocks, your books, if that serves you well. We want to have a straight back. And imagine, inhale straight back, exhale forward. Inhale straight back, exhale forward fold. Each side of our body is so different, so don't come in with the same expectations as you had of your other side. You are probably noticing a difference already. I always do. And it really depends on the day, which side of my body's a little bit more tender or sore. We're gonna stack our left shoulder over our left, and we're gonna lift our right arm high to the sky. Want to make sure our shoulders are not trying to kiss our ears, and look up if it's comfortable for us. Exhale gently, brings your hands back to the mat. Gently rebend your right leg. Tuck your left toes. Lift your left knee. And we're going to do tripod downward dog with our right leg to the sky. Inhale, stack those hips, your right hip, and let's go in circles on one side. How does that feel? Maybe you go a little slower so you can feel every bit of that. Exhale. Inhale. And when you're done, have your right foot meet your left for downward dog. Your next inhale brings your right leg high to the sky. Exhale brings your right foot outside of your right hand forward for lizard's pose. Bring your left knee to the ground. Untuck your toes again. And we're going to spend a little bit of time in this pose, lizard's pose. Now there's many ways to do this. And it really just depends what you're trying to stretch. But something I do want to keep, or want to make sure everyone has in mind, is to keep their chest open as you would in baby cobra. We want our right hands to be next to our right foot, and then our left hand, shoulders width apart. So we want an open chest. Now for the foot. You can keep your entire right foot on the ground, or if you prefer, you could open up your hip and be on the pinky razor's edge of your foot. Whatever works best for you. And just breathe. You should feel this on your inner thighs. Keep breathing. And same, if you've noticed the pattern, we're doing a lot of similar engagements with our legs, right? We're trying to bring our left hip bone forward, and it feels like the right one's trying to go back a bit. Now, if you're really wanting to give your quads a juicy stretch, you can bend your left knee, left leg, and while continuing to keep your left shoulder stacked over your left, we're gonna reach with our right leg behind, or right arm behind us, and grab the pinky edge of our left foot. We want that heart opener, chest up, gaze up, and you should be feeling that on your left quad. Make sure that left shoulder is also back and not trying to dump forward. Now without swinging it back, gently release. Bring your right hand back to where it was. And gently, we are going to heel toe to pigeon pose. So the right foot, let's talk alignment a little bit, okay? So, obviously all bodies are different, but your right knee should be about 2 or 3 o'clock. Just really depends. It doesn't have to be at 3 or 4. It really might be more like at 2, maybe at 1. That's okay. We want our left foot to really be at like 7 or 8 o'clock. Now we're gonna look behind or over our left shoulder and make sure our left knee is a little closer to the middle of the mat. And we want to make sure our hips are squared. Before folding forward, we want to rise up, make sure we're aligned, and gently forward fold. Now, this pose can be very, very intense for a lot of folks. But we're gonna sit here for a little bit. So I wanna give some recommendations. Find somewhere for your forehead to land. So whether that's stacking your hands and having your forehead land on that, or grabbing a block or a blanket, we wanna make sure we're not trying to put all the weight on our head. We want to surrender here. We want to keep breathing. You're clenching your jaw, release. Your tongue's on the roof of your mouth, release. And let the breath guide you. Take an inhale and sigh it out. Gently make your way up. Shift your hips to the right or to your right hip, and bring your left leg all around the world to the front, where we will want it to be stretched out diagonally, and we want our right foot on our inner left thigh. Inhale, arms to the sky. Frame your left leg, and exhale, forward fold. We do that framing to make sure our shoulders are squared and that one isn't higher than the other. And if you really want a really nice side stretch, which I recommend you do because we don't stretch our sides very often, put your left elbow on the inside of your left leg, palm to the ground, face down. We're gonna want our right arm to go over our bodies, trying to touch our left foot, and we can look up from our armpit, trying to look to the sky. Ooh, we should be feeling that side stretch across our right side, huh? This is one of my favorite things to do. Exhale, release. We're gonna go into stargazer. We want our right shoulder stacked over our right wrist, fingers facing back, and this is all behind us, behind our right bum. Then we're gonna lift our hips high to the sky, left foot to the ground for stargazer. You can look behind you, and exhale brings you to the ground, back to the ground. Now we're gonna do one of my favorite poses, fire log. Left foot. We're gonna start with our left side. So we want our left shin parallel to the front of our mat. We want our right foot stacking over our left leg. And we want to make sure our feet are flexing toward each other. Now, if you're like me and like many other people, you probably have a little gap in between your left foot and your right knee. That's perfectly normal. With time, that gap may close, or even while you're in the pose. That always happens for me, or it may not, and that's okay. It just means your hips might be a little tight. We hold a lot of stress there. It's perfectly natural. And depending on where you're at, you may want to put you could put a little rolled up blanket. You can even use if the gap is significant, you can use your block just to have at least like your right leg resting on something. So you can stay pretty active in this pose. And again, there is no value judgment about what your body can do in any given pose. It's about breathing through a lot of these poses, and there are so many variations to yoga, and they're all legitimate. So again, please just find what works for you. And if this is painful, you can always just even stretch. I think I've said this in other videos, you can even just keep your left leg stretched. Let's make sure that whatever you're doing is serving your body and it's not creating shame, because we do not need any of that. Just make sure you're breathing and you're doing yoga. With time, you start forward. Being able to fold a little bit more. Maybe you want to stay straight up, straight back. Again, whatever serves you. 3 more breaths. Inhale up if you're folding. Exhale. Stretch both your legs out in front of you. Maybe give them a little shake. into half hero's pose. And that's, we fold our left leg and have our left foot meet our left bottom, left side of our bottom for half hero's pose. Inhale high to the sky and exhale forward fold. Inhale, rise up. Right leg meets your left leg. And let's go to downward dog. Notice the difference between the one side and the other that already went through a lot of different stretches. How does it feel to be here? We store a lot of, like I said, stress, but also a lot of emotions in our hips. Feeling a little emotional. If you're not, that's cool. Just sometimes that happens. And let's go into our other side. Next inhale brings your left leg high to the sky. Exhale out to the outside of your left foot, hand for lizard's pose. Bring your right knee to the ground. Untuck your right toes. And same, we want a proud open chest. And again, maybe you want to fan out that leg. Maybe that's what feels really good today. Maybe you want to keep it straight. That's what I'm going to do today. Keep breathing. Find your breath. And remember, each side is so different. Don't assign any of the expectations from the other side to this side as we go into the same sequence on this side. You want to give yourself that juicy quad stretch. Bend your right leg. Make sure you stay stacked right shoulder over right wrist. And with your left arm, reach to the pinky edge, your foot, and grab that foot. Keep your chest open. Look up. And if you want to give yourself more of a stretch, you can try to bring your left or right foot to your bottom, but you're already doing this work. And again, if you can't reach, like you can just reach toward your left foot or toward your right foot, I'm sorry. It's just about making sure your left side, your left chest is open. We're not dumping. And again, don't slingshot, gently release. Bring your left hand back to where it was. And let's heel toe to pigeon pose. To half pigeon pose. So let's talk alignment on this side. Your left knee should be around 10 o'clock or so, whereas your left foot should be at like 4 or 5 o'clock. We will look over our right shoulder. Make sure our right leg is toward the center of the mat. We want to make sure we're squaring our hips, and we're gonna hold ourselves up to make sure we're in alignment. And then gently fold over. And just like we did on the same side, we're gonna make sure our forehead is resting on something, whether it's our hands, the block, the mat, so we are not transferring the weight onto a different side, right? Or a different part of our body. You know, we're gonna hold this for a bit. Lean into your breath. Do you feel like fidgeting? Is it because you need to? Or is it because you're feeling uncomfortable with just sitting here? Unclench that jaw. Just breathe. Inhale. Exhale, side out. Gently make your way up. Shift to your left side of your hips. And bring your right leg all around the world. And we're gonna stretch it out diagonally with our left foot resting on the inside of our right leg. Inhale, arms high to the sky. Face your right leg, frame it. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, gently come up. Let's go into fire log on this side. So we want our right leg on bottom. So right shin parallel with the top of your mat, the top edge. Left foot on top of your right leg, left knee, or right knee, I'm sorry. And we want to flex the feet toward one another. You might notice that the gap differs a lot than the other side, the gap between your right foot and your left knee. And again, with time, even during the pose, you might see a shift. You may not. That's okay. You can use a block if the gap is significant. We just want to make sure that left leg maybe can rest on something if it's pretty high up. There are many variations here. Maybe with time, forward fold. If you're folded over, make your way up. And gently stretch out your legs, right in front of you. Give them a little shake. You know what I forgot to do was our stargazer. So let's do that real quick. We're gonna put our right leg diagonal. Our left foot comes to the inner part of our bodies. We're gonna put our left elbow over our left wrist, and we're gonna lift our hips. High to the sky, arms straight, right arm straight. Gently release, brings us up. And while we're back at this side, make sure to put your right elbow inside your right leg. And we're gonna do that side body stretch. Totally skip that. So we want our left arm trying to meet our right toes. We're gonna look over our underarm. Just give that left side a really juicy stretch. This is one of my favorite things, so I'm glad I remembered. And we need to even it out. Alrighty folks, a little out of order on that side, but we did it. So we stretch that out. Let's keep our right foot stretched over, or left foot actually, stretched straight. We're gonna bend our right leg, right foot to meet our right side of our bottom for half hero's pose. Arms high to the sky and fold over. All right, gently come on up. Stretch the legs again, gently stretch. And let's meet on our bellies. Kind of like a Sphinx pose, so we want our forearms parallel to each other, shoulders stacked over elbows, and we're gonna give ourselves a really juicy quad stretch. Let's start with our right. So we're going to bring our left forearm diagonally toward our right side. So, like so. We want to make sure we're never dumping through this process, so this stays straight. Shoulders stay stacked over the elbows. And we're gonna bend our right leg toward our butt. And we're gonna reach with our right leg to cup our right foot to give ourselves a really juicy quad stretch. The trick here though is that we want to make sure we are bringing our right hip bone toward the ground. That will make the difference in sensation and stretch. Gently release. And let's go to the other side. So we'll bring our left arm back to where it was. Our right forearm will now be diagonal toward our left arm. We're gonna bend our left leg toward our bottom. And with our left hand arm, we're gonna reach toward our foot and kind of cup it like a little cupcake. And again, we want to make sure we're bringing that left hip bone toward the ground. Whew. Make sure we're not dumping into that right shoulder. We're strong. That juicy, juicy quad stretch. And gently release. Now just flip over. Let's meet on our backs. Wrap our arms around our knees. Gently sway from side to side, giving our lower backs a gentle massage. And when you're ready, grab your feet with your hands, the outside or the inside for happy baby. We're trying to bring our knees toward the nook of our underarms, our armpits, straight back, flat back. Maybe you sway side to side here playfully. Maybe you stretch one foot or one leg, then the other, maybe both, whatever feels good. And when you're ready, friends, release toward your Shavasana. You have loved and taken care of your body today. Check in with yourself. How does your body feel compared to how you started? That was you showing up for yourself in this way. You don't need to be flexing anything. Just lay here. Relax. The weight of the world is not on your shoulders. My cat Pickles agrees. Release your jaw, the tongue from the roof of your mouth. And just be. And lay here for as long as you need to. You have done the work. It's just as important as it is to show up for ourselves in this way. It's also important to just lay, to rest. We don't always need to be going. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you for showing up for yourself, for being here. Thank you.